Hello and welcome to Transformers IDW Blur Spotlight. With that being said, roll the tape. Yo, all right. So, yes, like I said a second ago, we are going to cover Spotlight Blur. And welcome in Briag, 45, Ramrod, and Stardom Numbspa's here tonight. What's up, fellas?
Yo,
What's up? Every time I hear that intro, I just want to be like Beavis and Butthead. Dun,
Right?
Hey, and if you don't know, that intro is courtesy of none other than Stardom Numbspa.
Awesome.
It is some of my finest work.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this thing. So bear with me as we get this fired up. All right, all good?
Yep. Looks like we can see it
Okay.
coming up on my screen.
Mhm.
All right. So make sure we do roll call at the end of this one. I forgot to do roll call at the end of the last one. All right, so I'm gonna go through the comic covers here because I always like to do that. This and the other one are quite different here, and this one's even different yet.
That one's a cool line art with coloring.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was always a fan of it. Go ahead.
Oh, I disagree. I just totally agree.
Yeah. All right. He is the fastest Cybertronian alive. He is glorious, unbeaten, and adored by millions. His capacity for victory is matched only by his overwhelming sense of self-belief and his all-encompassing ego. His celebrity threatens to reach heights that heretofore have never been seen. Yet deep down he is plagued by need for something more. His name is Blurr. This is written by Shane McCarthy, art by Casey Collar, colors by Joanna LaFuente. I'm not sure how to pronounce some of these. Letters by Neil Vetek. Like, again, I don't know how to pronounce some of these. Denton J. Tipton. And this one takes place in November 2008. So last time we were in 2012. So we've gone from Origins 2007 to Spotlight Orion Packs 2012, and now this one would be 2008.
Yeah, they seem to do a lot of flashbacks, kind of filler comics.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mhm.
This is one of the original Spotlights as well. So there's a couple of errors in it because they went back and did so many flashbacks, but it's nothing big, nothing major. So here you've got Blur. He's in the hangar, getting ready for a race, getting all prepped up.
Taking that juice.
Yep. I love how the coloring, it starts dark, but everything's got the lights. And this whole comic, everything is all about the lights, the glimmer, kind of like Vegas. And here he is with his crew, ready to go.
I always enjoyed his alt mode. Looks really good. Looks very Cybertronian, but really fast. This interpretation of him is completely different to me than his G1 offering.
Yeah,
I agree too.
Looks like a pod racer a little bit.
It reminds me of the pole position card, but Cybertronian. If everybody remember that blue card from pole position?
Yeah.
And also, we gotta believe for anyone that follows MMC, Chrome Dome is getting remolded into this. I'm saying it now.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
It's already built for it.
Yeah, we see him winning a race here. The crowd's going crazy. He obviously that's the thing that really gets him. The roar of the crowd, the fame.
Yeah, really pumps that ego.
Yep. Notice he's just walking, not even like acknowledging anyone. He just like, yeah, I'm bad. I know it.
Kind of like Han Solo.
Yeah.
Is this his little maintenance type bay here? Is that what this is?
Yep. Basically,
pit
after every
crew.
race and stuff, this is where they get touched up and make sure all his joints are working smooth and he's lubed. Gotta get that hot oil bath.
Sorry about that. I want to make sure I don't forget the names. We got Fast Track. I'm trying to remember. Piston.
Piston, yeah.
Yeah, they're here. They're talking about having an after party. Obviously Blurr just won, and they're talking about going to what's the place they're talking about going to?
Probably Mac Adams, or maybe
I think
the Circle.
Club.
Circle.
The Circle, yes, I believe it's the Circle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going off memory. Yep, you got it. But
Probably a play on the term the winner's circle.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to touch base on the drawings of these robots. I really like the particular, like him here is very different, but I enjoy that.
Looks like they all kind of got like the headgear, like NASCAR, like the team on NASCARs would have. They'd all have like antennas, headgear, be looking at stats. Like every one of them are monitoring everything about Blurr.
Good point. Yeah, the Circle. Yeah, they're going to go there and they're going to party. We are getting ready to answer the question that Marcos was asking one time, whether or not they drink. We will find out about that soon.
Yes, we will. You are correct. And also, I might add, can't everybody hear the what is it, Talladega Nights music playing in the background? I don't know why I just hear it. Because you know, if you're not first, you're last. You know, yeah.
Shake and bake.
Right. I hear that music like thoroughly in my head.
They just wreck their cars and they take off running towards the finish line.
Yep. That's
Perfect
a two. That's a two.
This story would be a cougar on Blurr's hood.
Yeah.
Here's an Easter egg. This is a Bulkhead from Animated. That drawing.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can see that
from
actually.
Transformers Animated, big car carrier.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He's a chauffeur in IWE for this.
They don't. It's just an egg. They don't really call him that. I don't even think it's just a transport. It's not a Cybertronian. But how large does that thing have to be to tote them around?
Quite a
Mad
bit,
shift, man. Mad shift.
Yeah.
If it was big.
Yeah, he's coming out to transport because they're getting ready to party, and he's getting the crowds he's enjoying them coming after him. So I think that's what you're going to see, the transition with Blurr in this particular issue, how he makes that transition from where he's thinking now to where he thinks later.
Yeah.
I mean, right now he can't hardly think beyond himself, but he learns that his world is not so big.
And we have to kind of rewind back too. Before we even got here, I remember telling his pit crew, I can't remember the head guy's name, but he invited him to. Yeah, he invited him to the Circle and hey, let's go have drinks. But as we all know, the Circle is only meant for racers, not the crews.
Yeah, the crews can't get in there.
Yeah, like a whole class deal.
Completely empty gesture.
And here he's getting hit up by this. I don't think they ever mentioned his name. It's like a media. He's getting hit from the media. What is your stance on the current political upheaval on Cybertron and what it means to the political what now? Surely you know it's been happening. You do watch the news. Pal, I don't watch the news. I am the news. So he's getting his first little taste of, something that's kind of going on outside of his world of racing.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to give any attention to it.
Okay, so Marcos, this is where they drink Energon. And to shout that out, I'm going to have myself a little drink right now. There we go.
All right. My McAllister's iced tea here.
Yeah. Some guys over there juicing on.
Yeah, but that's funny how.
See, this would be me right over here jacking in.
Yeah. What they
See,
call
that reminds me of that Futurama, yeah, Bender, yeah. Oh my God,
are you jacking on in there?
Yes. Hey man, be cool. I told him you were cool, man. Anyone does it.
And his buddy says, check that out. Simultronic reality inside reality. Brain fry. Who could ever want to run from a world like this? More Energon. So they're having a good time here. Don't you guys ever slow down? Slow. You insult us. Wealth, fame, and endless upgrades. Racing forever.
Now look at that itty bitty guy that was next to him. He looks like a pit guy. What's he doing there? He's got to be a celebrity of some sort.
He kind of does. He might be. He could be a entourage, like one of those kind of hanger-on type guys.
Yeah, probably.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I want to see something. Who is that?
Is that Hot Rod?
Hot Rod, is it?
Starscream?
Actually, I think you're right because
it might be.
Yeah.
No, he shows up later with Blurr. So it might be Starscream.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
I like to look in the background, see what I can see, because I like to stuff things in sometimes. So it looks like we have some sort of upheaval. This is at the arena, the racing arena, I do believe the stadium.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the war is going to come front and center right on his dinner plate. So let's see what we got here. This appears to be the dude that is running the races. This guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He kind of looks like Cup but I know he's not.
Yeah, he looks like an old greaser bot.
Mm-hmm.
The boss man.
Looks like a mashup between Hound and Cup for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like he's mistransformed.
A little bit.
If he were a toy.
He's kind of like
he
a bookie / boss guy that kind of not like the mafia lead boss, but he's just the guy running this racket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting ready to shut down. So Blurr says, you can't do this. I'm not. This comes all the way from Zeta Prime. The races are shut down until further notice. Something about a terrorist threat to the public. Safety, whatever, either way, we're done. Get out of here, will you? Making me feel bad. So this is kind of really shaking his world up a bit here.
Yep. Notice the colorization of the panels. It's no longer bright lights and like blur and glare and all that. It got real dark.
Almost like reality setting in.
Yep.
Let's see. This almost changed. You're cleaning out your things. The races might. I don't care if they come back. It's not about the racing anymore. Here, this is where I'm going. They display some sort of information data packet with an Autobot symbol on it. They're called the Autobots. They need our help, all of us. The what? Wait a minute. The what is this? Some party thing? Cybertron's changing, Blurr. Pretty soon you'll need to choose a side. These are the good guys. They're here to help. Listen, I don't need your help, okay? Or your little support groups. The races might be over for now, but the parties aren't. Catch my drift? Good luck, Blurr.
Yeah, for once somebody turned his back on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely here on out as well. I think everything's just kind of get darker and darker.
Yeah, it's dark.
Next few reads we do for a while are going to be like this, I do believe.
It'll be funny if maybe perhaps this is how things always were, but the lights and glamours was kind of what Blurr chose to see.
Oh, that's
I thought it'd
good.
be kind of
Yeah.
interesting twist on things. He just now. Oh my God, reality setting in. We are at war. Like,
Yep.
He's so obviously, the thing that he loves has been taken away. So, you kind of got to do a little soul searching, and not just that, boredom setting in with him as well. So, the thing that he was bashing before this little VR piece here, where they kind of check out.
mhm.
It's like he's kind of looking at it like, should I? Will that help me get the rush that I'm used to getting? And a stranger from the distance. Now, why would you want to do that? And here we see Starscream pop in. We didn't see him. Did we see him in Orion Pax?
No, we saw
I don't think
Thundercracker, I
so.
believe.
Yeah, Thundercracker and Orion Pax, but Starscream was in Megatron Origins.
You're correct. Okay, thank you. Yes. So I think his drawings here are kind of strange, but he looks really. He does. I think they made him look really young here.
Yeah,
Got that salesman chin on him.
Yeah.
He's got a big old chin on him.
trying to sell you that used car.
Yeah.
I think Megatron's probably chiseled that down a little bit since then.
Yeah.
Or blasted it off.
Starscream confronts him. I always felt that was the province of the weak, not the strong. Who are you? A friend. Oh, you're a manipulator. That's what you are, sir. Tell me, have you ever really felt remorse, loss? Let me put it this way. How much do you really care about those around you? Blurr so far doesn't appear to care about much else but himself. Would we agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
If this is going to be another conversation about how cold and arrogant I am, trust me, I've heard it all before. From people scared of your gifts, no doubt. Believe me when I tell you I understand you better than anyone you have ever known. For example, what do you really care about? Racing? Just the racing? No. The crowds, when I can feel them behind me, the lights, the roar. And that one moment, that one single moment when I know what I'm doing really matters. So we go through a little more banter here, and Starscream just keeps pitching, And let's see. My group could really use someone with your gifts, Blurr. Someone with your clarity. And there he gets tossed. I'm not real sure what these are. Data packets, just a little, I don't know, just some kind of flyer or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, just a quick, it looks like a business card, but I'm pretty sure it has the best information about their group.
Like a brochure. Like, hey, become an Autobot. Hey, become Decepticon.
Be all that you can be. On the front lines.
And now
you'll be a nameless soldier getting your head blown off.
You can really tell how much you paid attention.
We would like to reformat you into an all-purpose bomb.
Now, we also have to understand here the Autobots that have been portrayed here recently are not necessarily been the good guys. So up until now, kind of deal.
There's no Orion Pax.
Yeah, the Decepticons are still preaching that, hey, the old rule, the old way doesn't fly no more. So, the fog of war is getting ready to change, whereas the Decepticons originally stood for what needed to happen. But now they're getting ready to cross that line into what they didn't originally, I think, start out to be.
Yeah, when they started out, they remind me of Starship Troopers at the Federation. Are you doing your part? They seem like a really go getter. Let's change things. But eventually the message gets messed up, and history is history.
All right. So we just get some more pitching here from Starscream. And we get some parting comments here. All those races, all those victories, and you still felt hollow, didn't you? Rule or serve. You'll know what to do.
So back into daylight, like he's got a little bit of clarity on things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and we get to meet Ironhide.
Let's do a
Yeah,
check
I hear
here.
I hear that Foghorn Leghorn voice like, "Get down, boy!"
I say, get down.
I say,
So, have we seen? I don't think we've seen Ironhide up until now.
I think you're right. I think
he was in Origin,
I
just
don't.
he was.
in the background. Like he was at the funeral, and he was also in a background wherever when Inferno had grappled onto Skywarp, I think, and flew up in the air, and he was in the background punching someone.
Okay, that he had the old style where he still had the windshield in front of him because we made
that's right.
EW design.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is basically his kind of like his first appearance. I mean, he was in the other ones, but this is kind of
Where he
deal right here. So immediately Blurr goes out and the fight is on. Now, why does it say why the Decepticons are attacking this particular area?
I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so.
They have information that needs to get to Zeta Prime, and the Decepticons are trying to prevent them from moving. They're basically holding them down where they're at.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, it does touch base on that toward the end. Yes, you are right. But right here, Piston gets killed. So
yeah, and his buddy Racer back there.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, I think was the same guy at the bar with him. He's got the same helmet.
Now, wasn't he? Now, didn't he become a Decepticon? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If you zoom in on his body, looks like he just killed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Made a crossfire.
Do you have a symbol?
Yeah. He chose the other side.
Who? Yeah. Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Man.
Yeah, he probably killed. I figure him and Piston died in probably some type of a shootout. Probably that's my mind canon theory, at least on this.
Yeah, racers aren't so big now.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
I didn't notice that, man. Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome.
That is a good catch.
It's kind of been my head canon there.
But like we like to do, a moment of silence for the ones who've been killed. All right, so here we get to see Orion Pax again, and his design still looks very similar to when we just saw him last, when he got kind of messed up a little bit, but he survived.
Mm-hmm. It's a Hasbro's on, yeah.
Yeah, so they're kind of having some banter, and he's like, his name is Piston, referring to him on the ground. I know, I met him once briefly. It's a tragedy. How long has it been since Cybertron has witnessed death? Death to those who haven't chosen it. And that's the big deal. People that haven't put themselves in harm's way, that are getting caught in the crossfire, is a big part of why you can see the Decepticons blurring those lines. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're a racer, aren't you? Yes. I've met some of your kind before. You're a special breed. Enough. Okay? Enough. I've had it with bots tell me who and what I am. And we get to see Cup here. You're wasting your time, kid. This one's just a pampered, arrogant little upstart. I love the character. They kept him true to what we know as Cup. Sometimes it's nice to get a different take, but I just love that Cup is still that old gritty bastard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see him prior, or is this his first appearance?
I want to say first. I could be wrong. I want to say first because even though he looks kind of rough around the edges, he looks almost kind of new. Almost.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. If he was in Origins, he was in the background.
Okay, so of notable things, This is first appearance of Cup, semi first appearance of Ironhide. So those are things that are very noticeable to me and are important.
Definitely the first speaking part.
Yeah. Because Cup is one of my favorites in this whole series. I mean, love Cup. What would you know, you old relic? A lot, actually. But in this case, he's wrong, at least partially. To those around you, you might seem abrupt and arrogant, but that's just a byproduct of your gift. Your ability to process life and death decisions at lightning speed. So we talked last time, Briag 45, and you're like, do you hear Optimus's voice or do you hear Orion Pax's? In this instance right here, I actually hear Prime.
Yeah,
I still hear that young, kind of a young guy to me. Still.
Yeah, the whole conversation in this has a very reverent overtone to it, where you could really hear Optimus's voice. In Spotlight Orion Pax, how they word it and how he speaks in that doesn't seem like how Optus speaks.
It's more of the transition of where he's going, where he's heading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they do a very good.
Hey, scroll up a bit.
Yeah, I'll say at this point he definitely has some Cup training at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, he might be more Prime-esque maybe, perhaps.
Yeah.
Doesn't Orion Pack's backpack look a little bit like
Roller?
It's not Roller, but that module in the back of his truck.
Inside the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh.
That cockpit thing that has the arm on it. Yeah.
Yeah, the repair.
Isn't that an anti-aircraft weapon?
Yeah, it's got missile launchers on it.
You're right. When I saw that, it didn't. I saw. I'm like, hey, that's kind of catching my eye with something, but I didn't put it together like you did, Ramrod.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. It's a missile launcher / repair bay.
Yeah, definitely. So that's an awesome nod what they did right there with that design. I admit I'm quite envious of your confidence to do so. Your kind rarely shows hesitation. Yeah, I'm so wonderful. Tell that to him. Tell that to all others I ignored. It's only arrogance if that strength and focus of yours is turned inwards. Optimus, move your tailpipe. We need to find a way to save Prime.
I'd like to note that it should not be Optimus. It should be Orion. Orion Pax. That's one of the errors, because this was written before Spotlight Orion Pax, before they actually decided they were going to call him Orion Pax and wrote Autocracy and showed the Matrix and stuff like that.
Yeah, and really, when you look at him like this and you see that face without the mask, I mean, I really see Orion Pax there, the kid.
Yeah.
I don't see Optimus Prime.
Yep. Yeah, he has a very Mega Man type face here.
He does.
Yeah, but that's another reason why we're here and what we're doing. We're not knocking that there's a mistake. We're just noticing all avenues that we can find about the story, because that's how you get the most out of the story, is noticing everything you can take in.
I think what's even neat is if you consider the size. If this is that body from Spotlight Orion Pax, that wheeljack ready built for him, consider how big it is and how tall Blurr is. Blurr's a pretty big bot. And I know he gets bigger when he gets the Matrix, but Blurr's not small. You'd think as a racer, they would be smaller and lighter, but he's not.
Slender, yeah.
Blurr has kind of a samurai look if you look at him right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
I've always loved the drawings in IDW of Blurr and Drift. They're both they're both similar to me, but I really love their style.
The group Drift racer?
Go ahead.
I was just wondering if Drift was a racer. Did it ever?
I don't think he was.
I mean, he was a Decepticon before being Drift. I mean, we learned that later in his origin story.
Actually, I have a question about that, but I'll ask after the issue's done. I have a very good question about that. You might be the man to ask.
Okay. So, continuing on, the group of Decepticons we're fighting are an assassination team. Their target is Zeta Prime. This isn't my fight. Transmissions between here and the Citadel have been disabled. They have some sort of powerful communications bot. We'll try to get there to warn him, of course, but we'll fail. None of us is fast enough. Makes no difference to me. Stay out of it and you get to keep your old life. I like my old life. Do you? All those times in the arena, was it the victories that kept you going? Or was it the chance to constantly inspire others to strive for more? You can still be an inspiration, Blurr. Now check that panel out right there.
Yeah, that's kind of the Optimus Prime to come.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it.
I mean, that when you look at that, there's no way you can't see Optimus right there.
And all I'm hearing is Hank Hill over here. Or was it the chance to constantly inspire others to strive for more?
Damn it, Bobby.
God dang it, that boy ain't right.
Who are you? Just a soldier like you. So we see Blurr here, kind of taking a look at that that packet. I don't know. Is that the packet that they end up putting on their chassis?
That's what I wonder, if that's like a an emblem that you could put on.
Yeah, that's what it has to be, because you can see him right now. We know what he's getting ready to do with it. That's what those are.
Yeah, a little dry weld. You put it on there, rub it good, and get the welding torch and heat it up and peel it off.
Is that one of those rub-on tattoos?
Basically, I mean, it's kind of like the water decals, water slides.
Yeah.
And right here. So, like I said, you can really see Pax. He has that ability to lead by example, whether it's to fight, inspire, and you just see Blurr. Blurr's gone.
Yep, smoking the pine.
You really think that trinket's got what it takes? What do you really care about? Racing. Just the racing? No. We can see him. He's just mowing down Decepticons right here.
The Skywarp.
Yeah.
Look at that shot.
And look how much bigger he is than Skywarp, really. I mean, yeah, Skywarp just got bent over backwards, but like for being such a fast bot, he's got a lot of mass to him.
I never really looked at that, but it's worth noting. The crowds, when I can feel them behind me, the lights, the roar, and that one moment. The one single moment when I know what I'm doing really matters. The end. And that's a great shot for the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is such a good spotlight.
It is. You know what? Some of these spotlights we've read in the past, man, when you get into a panel like what we're doing, you really get some meat out of these things that you just didn't see before.
Yep. I would have loved a lot more spotlight issues, or even like spotlight, like maybe a 4-issue that covers 10 robots specifically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Spotlight would have been cooler if they had brought it back for, like, let's say, like a combiner. Like if each man got his own spotlight to learn where that personality trait came from. So like a Minosaur, give you 5 spotlights to show how they became a gang.
We come to the section where we answer questions, whether we may have them or not. Sardo, you said you had some questions.
Yeah, it's more of a drift question. I figured Brig Eye can answer this. I remember in God, it's been so far ahead now. We haven't even got to it yet. But I remember when Drift became what's the Decepticon name?
He was Deadlock first.
Yep.
Deadlock. I remember that Megatron picked him out of a gathering and said, "Hey, you down there, you want to beat somebody? Like you're Deadlock now." So I always wondered, was Drift always the original name, or was it always Deadlock? Because I remember Lockdown once said that he had gave him the name Deadlock.
You know,
so
they've never hinted one way or another, but it almost seems like, I don't know. I don't know if I can even answer that well, because it feels like he changed his name to Drift because he couldn't go back to being who he was, and he definitely
was.
didn't want to be who he was. He didn't want to be Deadlock anymore.
What was your question, Sardo?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, it'll be a while before we get to this point, but it's a point when Tarn remember back to, a certain thing happens and they catch up with the lost light, and he's like, we have found Deadlock, who had taken a turn to calling himself Drift again. So I meant in the text when he said Drift again, I was like, wait a minute, was that always his real name? That always got me. Like, what is this fool's real name?
I don't know if I caught that. If it says Drift again, then Drift is his real name.
Yeah, so it always made me wonder. I mean, I thought it was a good question to ask someone.
That makes a very good point, because I had never noticed that one little word again.
Again, because like I said before, in these comics, there's so many erratas. They like the errata things.
Yeah.
So what's the actual canon for this? I mean, kind of in the story, Orion Pax is called Prime. We all know he's not Prime yet because future stories change that scenario up. So it always kind of made me wonder. But we'll get there. No big deal.
Yeah, but like I thought, when I was thinking about before doing the show, I'm like, there's not a lot with Blurr. But once again, prove that there's more meat when you really dig into these and get underneath the surface. Like it just hit me with that freaking sigil. That's how they gotta be putting. That's how they gotta be applying them.
Yeah, and later on, the Decepticons have a different method of doing that.
Yeah.
Actually, go ahead. Sorry.
You're right.
No, I was gonna say I look forward to when we get to the more Lost Light stuff with Swerve. His fascination with Blurr. That's always been funny to me. Like me and Blurr are gonna be best friends. Like, excuse me, who are you again?
It's almost like Blurr's little bit of punishment for how he treated all the lackeys.
I always figured Swerve was one of those guys we didn't get to see it, of course, but he was. It's me, Swerve. Like, okay. Remember?
Did you have any questions, Ramron?
What's that? Oh, I think we got through most of the questions there that I had that came up throughout the comic. But I am. I'm glad of these. The spotlights and most of these series, because it really fleshes out the characters from the original G1, because a lot of the characters, I like them a lot, but they were pretty two-dimensional. So.
Yeah. Well, with that being, go ahead.
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
Do you have the roll call up by any chance, Briag?
I don't. I could probably pull it up real quick.
So, Sardo, like when you think of the really good spotlights, you really think Orion Pax and Blurr are good spotlights. When I think of them, they don't come to my mind. But through talking to you guys, man, they're really a lot better than I originally thought.
Yeah, from what we haven't gotten to it, but I think my favorite, and I won't change my mind, because
Everybody pick your favorite one. Get in your head. We'll pick our favorite spotlight. Go ahead, Sardo.
Cliff Jumper. That's my favorite.
Got Cliff Jumper down here. Ramrod?
I think Thundercracker, one of my favorites. It came to mind the first.
I got Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper was my first one to think about.
Yeah, it just
kind of hit me, and it kind of showed that again, there's always that gray area. Autobots are like not really all that good either, and Cliff Jumper is a badass.
Yeah,
I mean,
he has a really soft side in that. Like, it really shows who Cliff Jumper can be. He's not just this war dog.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just let everybody know to be prepared when we do that. That might be an hour one, because it's a very pop. It's my favorite one. It's favorite of other guys, and there's some really good stuff in there. So a good story makes you angry. It makes you happy. It evokes emotions. And that one right there evokes emotion.
Okay, so some roll call. Spotlight Orion Pax. Obviously, Orion Pax and Wheeljack. Rung, Kaput, Zeta Prime, Nightbeat, Alpha Trion, and Ratchet. That was all the Autobots. Decepticons, you had Rack and Ruin, Thundercracker. Acid Storm was apparently labeled in there. That I guess that may have been the green jet that we saw. Skywarp. I don't remember seeing Skywarp.
Yeah, and he ran him over.
Okay.
Yeah, Blurr ran him over. Yeah.
And
that was
Bludgeon.
Blurr. That was the Blurr.
Oh yeah, this is Orion Pax.
So-
And Bludgeon, and then Metroplex and these Slicers. And I don't remember anyone dying in that one.
Yeah. Hey, say hello to the kitty. Ha ha.
Oh, my cat in the way?
No, it's cool.
No, he's fine.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a part of
He's
the
always
show.
walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in my lap all evening.
He's the show mascot for sure.
You know what? I'm just not seeing. I'm just not seeing the cat. I just not acknowledging that. What?
He's been there the whole time, but you're just
Yeah,
not
when
seeing
he
it.
was
I didn't notice it.
When he was reading, the cat was flipping face and looking at the camera.
All right.
Wow, I just not noticed. That's crazy. I see it. Now I fully see him. Yeah, the ears.
What?
Yeah.
What slicers? There were no slicers in that.
Yeah, those were the critters out in the rest spot that they were
In the
on.
Ron Pax.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was Ryan Pax.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, roll call for Blurr. Obviously, you had Blurr, Piston, Ironhide, Optimus, Cup, and remember it's Orion Pax. Decepticons, we had Fast Track, Starscream, and Skywarp. Which is weird because I feel like I saw a couple other Decepticons in there that they didn't have any speaking or anything. But deaths, we saw Piston and Fast Track die. Fast Track being that red Decepticon that was one of the racing buddies.
Well, he was a
I
Decepticon.
thought that was a very emotional part that I missed before. I didn't even realize that they had taken opposite sides.
That brings the whole brother against brother, friend against friend, to the front.
Yeah.
It just goes to show what I've been saying even more. It's really getting blurred right now, and what sides are what's good and what's evil.
Yeah, because neither side are totally bad or totally good. There's going to be either way on both sides what we're going to see.
Yeah, during
I'm gonna say, what's funny about that? You would think Piston would have been a Decepticon. Being a lower class, being judged for it. You think he would have been Decepticon for that? The downtrodden.
Yeah, well, like Sardo said, Sardo had already come up with like a whole interaction in his head.
That's my head, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now I'm kind of wondering in my head, wonder how that went down.
I don't know. Maybe Piston just really, really thought there was good in Blurr and was maybe a bigger picture type of guy and really kind of like Bumblebee. Bumblebee's generally always portrayed as a little bit naive, but always seeing the good in every kind of bot.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wonder if Piston was kind of like that. And even though he was walked on day after day by Blurr and Fast Track, maybe he just kind of figured, yeah, I'll do what sounds good.
Took
of course,
life
he was
as it
never
was and made
approached by
the best of it.
Decepticon. What's that?
Said took life as it was and made the best of it.
Yeah. But if he was never approached by a Decepticon, I could see him taking the Autobot route easy because it was acceptance, which is what he was looking for the whole time. Whereas the Decepticons, they were approaching big, powerful bots, which they approached the racers for all their speed. Obviously, Fast Track wanted all that glory and power, and Blurr was kind of like, I just want my racing days back until he saw the bigger picture.
I'm thinking that Decepticons knew all. Maybe they knew that guy could be the only one that could stop their plan, and that's why they were pitching him so hard.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because they see like the utilitarian value of like what can you bring? Not like, hey, you got a good spirit, you can help out however you can, but but they look at you and quantify your value and judge on whether or not by that you can become a Decepticon or not.
Isn't it ironic that this whole thing started as Megatron's fight against functionism, and Decepticons are being recruited based on function?
Function
based
and
on
power,
alt mode,
Yeah.
They're changing what they originally were fighting for.
Yep. So you can already see how the Decepticon cause is strayed from what it was.
All right. With that being said, we are going to get out of here, and we will see everybody on the next episode, which we'll be tackling autocracy next.
Ooh.
Yes. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to Marcos. He couldn't be here tonight. What's up, bro? Anybody got anything to say before we bust up out of here?
Nope. Exciting issue.
No. See you next time.
Have fun.